in Indonesia not being able to arrest these trends is the lack of its coast guard, and that's very important. And also, of course, unmonitored maritime routes. That's one, like what is happening now. The second part is what is it that the pirates are after? Well, pirates are after it could be petty thefts and valuable belongings onto these boats. It could be cargoes or goods that are being tugged or shipped along, different archipelagic sea lanes of Indonesia. That is called Alki 1, Alki 2, Alki 3, and these are the critical shipping routes. Okay. Also that connect to Indonesia and Philippines.
Doctor, so the foreign ministers will be meeting to discuss this issue and what can be done. What do you think they should be addressing first?
Well, I think 5 areas they need to look into. One is effective coordinated patrolling, because there is not, in reality, there is no joint patrolling. That never happens. Joint patrolling essentially means that they combine troops, and the two combined troops patrol together. That doesn't happen because of the sovereignty issues. So it essentially is a coordinated patrolling. And I think that they should agree on to do this. And the second is, of course, they should engage in effective intelligence sharing and greater coordination between the headquarters of Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. And so apart from these are like quick steps that they could take. Apart from that, there are 2 long-term steps that Indonesian government needs to take, because bulk of these incidents that have happened in the Indonesian waters. And 2 things that come to my mind is the development of the Indonesian Coast Guard and a rapid response team that could address the issue promptly.
All right, Doctor, so there are fears as well that this could hit levels that we're seeing in Somalia. What do you think are the lessons that authorities in Southeast Asia can take away from Somalia, which, well, they managed to get piracy situation under control in recent years?
Well, if you're referring to the recent statement made by Minister for Political, Legal and Security Affairs, Mr. Luhut Panjaitan, then I won't pay much attention to those statements, because we've got conflicting statements. Another statement came from Indonesia's defense minister, who said that it's not like Somalia, and the cases are of course different. But I won't pay much attention to what he's saying, because he keeps come up with all these different random statements. Okay. But certainly the problem is deep, and it's going bigger and bigger, and bulk of that responsibility lies with Indonesia. Okay. Because if you look at it, 80% of those cases were actually reported in the Indonesian waters.
All right, Doctor, we need to leave it at that, Doctor. Dr. Vibanshu Shekhar joining us from Washington, D.C. on the piracy issues here in Southeast